Good morning, everybody. So I am getting ready to beautify myself and hit the road and do some things. Um, I just saw on Angela Stanton's show, and I'm gonna Bonnie the Shoers. There was a woman who was doing a dance with a Black Lives Matter shirt, and I'm kind of familiar with the dance, and I know that there has been a lot of shady monetary things going on all over the globe, and my mom told me not to watch the news. Don't put anything that I've ever done as far as joining the army, contributing to politics, hanging out, or just having friends. It's always been like it didn't matter. And I think because they're all mystics and they probably knew like at the end there was going to be some kind of big division. So um because of the spooky thing and the scary thing that we have in our community of Black people, like I can literally see, and I like I don't fit in anywhere. African side, Jamaican side, they're like, oh, you American. Americans like, oh, you African. You know what I mean? Or you Jamaican, try to put me in a little box. But I do know one thing. I know when I see religious and spiritual symbolisms and exactly what they mean in certain songs, like it's like Black folks don't even bother to even figure out what it mean. And to me, that's more of a division, at least like I don't know, but I'm not gonna get involved with that. But I'm just saying, as a person that has been well rounded in language, symbolism, uh, I don't do much religious scripture, but I know the Bible, Proverbs. There's certain, I'm pausing because it's a little overwhelming because I really didn't realize the divide until like being an adult going on my pilgrimage. So when I see some Black people getting ready to go on their spiritual journey or their pilgrimage, and I'm like, I feel for them, especially when they start learning other languages, because it's some anger and some like it's truth mixed with whatever, but Black should not ever just take an African song and be like, it means something bad and call us devil worshippers because usually, initially, most people don't know the difference if you Black or if you dark, you're just dark. Ooh, I'm all shiny. Hmm. I'm like, this looked a little like, okay, I got something on my face. I gotta reapply my stuff. And in our culture, when you start having spiritual awakenings and different all type of different things could happen. I'm gonna do a mini story time. One of the women that's like 90 years old, not in tune with everything you guys are doing online, but in tune with some other things. She got arrested recently having a fight with some people, maybe her old man is what I heard. I don't know. But when they arrested her and they put the cuffs on, she had a visualization. She was in the bottom of a slave ship. Like she had a flash, like she went out and she was in the bottom of a slave hub. Me, about a year ago, I was in, I think, Ridgeland, renting a place from this old white woman. And I have some things that I use to lead me in certain directions to tell me where to go. And I already swore, for God, I had no idea about none of Kwame background, Angela background. I knew about some celeb stuff, but our families brainwash us not to like technology and the internet. Even if they're on the internet, it may not be them. Like it may when I say our families, I'm meaning just I've been running into women and some people around South, this area of South, that do not like technology. They don't like any of that. And a lot of our families are very superstitious and they're like, no, and it's a reason that you can have people from Sierra Leone, Jamaica come here and they can communicate with the deep um accent accented uh gullas that are still walking around here. And for I don't know what mainstream media is doing. I just know what I see, but it is kind of hard to watch blacks discriminate on their extended relatives and be like, oh, they doing something weird. I'm a fully conscious woman driving a car. I had struggles with the online thing because that's usually the first thing to go because it's not natural to us. It does something to us. So after I go with the old woman and I do her internet stuff or we look at this or I do whatever, I'm usually drained, um, usually get real sick. And even in the service, I would use it based on what the army told me to do. And that kind of put me in bad position because people around me knew a whole lot more about things than I did. Um, certain things. So, that's kind of difficult. So I wish that blacks will open up a more. And they say other cultures or different blacks that ain't, in America don't accept them, but all I've seen is open arms with brotherly love. But then even my dad did this during our pilgrimages and our um, journeys to, different places. We would mess it up by sleeping around or just doing things that had nothing to do with the mission. But due to the fact that religious symbolism sticks out a lot to me, I know exactly what that woman was doing, but she was mixing it in. She could be wrong because I heard Black Lives Matter did a lot of shisty things with money, just like they did with the Rastafari. What's going on with the Rastafari right now? Oh, wait. So if they doing stuff wrong with money, that's wrong. But those rituals, all of them is not bad, but it looks like she is mixing in something. Whenever you are scamming for money and you're mixing in uh cultural symbolism, it's always gonna get bad. But if anybody is really interested in learning what some of these things mean, I can teach them, but from what I see, it doesn't really look like blacks are wanting to know about um, too much roots. It looked like they kind of just want to be like, oh, I can't believe you did that. It looked like the demon, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's not fair when it's vice versa, and the ones who don't fit in, that is called crazy, we're the ones who will venture out from our family norms and go see what's going on to certain extents to try to make a change. There's a saying, everybody got somebody who brings the family out of poverty for each generation. Are you that person? I know when I joined the military, at one point, I was that person. I've seen when I did some research and I look at how the industry and those sports teams do their contract, I'm like, that looked very familiar, and my office work on the general staff, which was right under the secretary of blank. Because even me, I get nervous about saying certain things. And then whenever I say something that's too much or kind of towing the line, I'll have somebody call me or get in contact with somebody that knows me and be like, hey, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't say that. And I'm like, why not? So maybe education don't mean nothing, but it's kind of hard to look at that, especially when you're having a spirit, like you want to contribute, show everybody, you know, show everybody and writing letters to the right people. That's one thing that I remember about legislation and certain policies and laws that needed to be changed, that were changed um, in this Eurocentric system when I was involved in it. Knowing who to write the letters to and how is very important, and due to the fact that a lot of, anyway, it looked like it's getting better, but Angela, I don't know you. I understand that I started seeing your stuff recently. I know that some of the elders, they know who you are and they know Kwame, but if y'all see stuff like that, I could tell what they're doing. I could show you the book it came from and the song that they read. You know what I mean? But please try not to demonize the word. Now, I don't know. I just now heard of people were accusing me and calling me a witch from when I was little. That really hurt my feelings. And the reason why they were calling me that is because I used patterns to do things and I had a tendency to know things before they happen and find solutions to very complicated situations. Um, but I had emotions, so a lot of things would be hidden from me. And in the service, I could get behind a dude and lay up behind a dude, and everything would be toned down. However, once I started learning more languages and symbolisms and even books, right now I'm looking for a black museum to put some of our stuff in, but I know that woman was mixing in stuff, but let's try not to demonize African culture and say like voodoo is bad. Voodoo means life, but there is bad root, which would be translated into karma and some other biblical scriptures. That's what you find out a lot of times when you are on your spiritual journey, like scriptures and how indigenous culture translated to modern religion. You know what I mean? But as a woman, um, it kind of hurts, and all I get told is, don't watch the news, don't talk to people, don't do this, don't say anything, all like this. So, or telling me I have to stay in a certain box. So that kind of hurt. But I know when I'm not um I shouldn't be there, you know, but when that divide with the black community, and I mean in blacks all around the world, between religion, spirituality and tradition has always been some kind of issue, but the ones who are more in the dream world, which represent Yoruba and Ifa culture, a lot of our Christian family members, our modern family members will hide us, abuse us, kidnap, send you away, do with you as they please. You know what I mean? It's a reason why somebody like me would do certain things. You know what I mean? Um, but I'm hoping with this wake up, people will try to learn some of the meanings behind some of these things that people are doing so you can see it. But if you just demonize something that look African or a dance or a ritual, a lot of times you are demonizing the wrong thing. And that's all I want to say about that. No drama, no smoke. Hope everybody's good. And I said I was going to do a lot about imagery and my art and stuff. I'm not even supposed to be tapping into that again. But when I share you guys stuff, and I'm not even on Facebook like that, there's a few people around the globe that will see it. I don't know what people gonna do with what they see, but getting the word out is important. But everybody who dressed in African clothes is not a pro wag. They're not an orgy person. They're not a devil worshiper. And for some reason, that's what we keep being called. And because I speak English, went to school with everybody else, we might have had extra schools, but I'm like, it's something that we can learn from each other instead of being discriminatory. So, um, yeah. And even when people are mentioning voodoo priests and things like that, I be wanting to clarify because they always want to say voodoo priests, devil, and industry. Why do you want to put voodoo priests with the devil and the industry? It's something ain't right about that either. Just letting y'all know. All right.